So today we're going to address the Nintendo Labo situation, what I think about it, a little bit more in depth. I already made a video about this, but on a different channel. You can go check that out if you want, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth today about my concerns, top 5 things I hate about Labo. I'm Parker from Vehicle Virgins all of a sudden, right, with those top 5 videos I hate, but no, it's going to be like a top 5 list, but it's may or may not be top 5 things wrong with Labo, but I'm going to talk about what I'm concerned about Nintendo Labo, and I want to address some issues people are been bringing up with this, and what I think and what my personal opinions are. So yeah, let's get right into it. First off, my opinion is that the software itself is not going to be that much in it. Now, by that I mean the software itself, I don't think it warrants us spending $60 for the software itself and then the other $20 for cardboard. And that doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right. I mean, $60 for the software, which in all honesty, from what I can tell, it doesn't look like it's going to have that much stuff in it. The actual cartridge, the game itself is going to be like a glorified tech demo from what I'm seeing. I don't think $60 is going to be an appropriate price for that. I just don't think it is. This is going back to the whole 1-2 switch debacle. They should have never charged us for that game. That should have been a pack-in title. I don't care what Nintendo says. It wasn't worth that price. It sure as hell wasn't worth 60, and I think they did bring it down to 40 something, $49.99 I think, but it still wasn't worth even that, $49.99. It should have been at least $20. It was just a glorified tech demo. I don't think that the cartridge, the game itself, that the software the Labo kits come with is worth the $60 entirely. And that just goes into the whole other topic that this is an overpriced thing to begin with. This whole Labo thing is overpriced, which I agree with. I think it is overpriced. But yeah, I don't think the software itself is going to be like worth $60 by itself. Maybe the robot kit is going to be worth more $60. There seems to be a lot more, content from what I can tell in the trailers in the robot kit. You were like playing as an actual robot and stuff. There was, character you can control and stuff, so it was more akin to a regular game than it was to like a little tech demo, like what the 1-2 switch was or what the variety kit had. But yeah, software, I don't think it's going to be worth the full $60, and yeah, I think it's a little bit too expensive. I think it should have been at a lower price, but hopefully I'm proven wrong, and hopefully Nintendo does pack a lot of stuff into that software. Hopefully they do. The next thing that people have been complaining about, and this is kind of funny, because, you can look at this two ways, a good way and a bad way. The cardboard construction, it's a weakness, and I think they should have used some plastics to reinforce it. Maybe not completely cardboard, but have some plastics on it. Some people are saying, oh, that's cool. It's biodegradable cardboard, all that recyclable cardboard stuff. Yeah, that's good, helping the environment and stuff. A lot of other people are saying, me including, that the cardboard is not going to stand the test of time. It's going to break, and they should have reinforced it with something else, and it should have been completely plastic. Like, if you remember the Nintendo Wii had a bunch of peripherals, the golf peripheral, the baseball bat peripheral, the machine gun peripheral, the grenade peripheral, the steering wheel peripheral, the peripheral, it had a bunch of those, and those were made of hard plastics. Now, hard plastics, yeah, they're more durable than cardboard, but yeah, they're not going to leave such a good mark on the earth once a couple hundred years pass by. It's not very eco-friendly, right? But they're going to stand the test of time more than a piece of cardboard will. The cardboard construction, yeah, that's going to be a weakness of it, plus all these movable joints and stuff. The more movable parts a toy or video game system has, or a computer in general, any machine in general, the more moving parts it has, is the higher probability it has of needing servicing and repairs and all that mumbo jumbo. It's going to wear down quicker. That's why you see a bunch of NES is still working, because it was a very simple design. There was no disk drive. You just pop in the cartridge and, boom, it connects to the little pins inside it. Boom, it's reading the disc, I mean, not the disc, the cartridge. Then you got the newer consoles, which are all like fancy schmancy, the optical drives and stuff. There's a lot more moving parts in there, and that's why they break more often than the OG consoles did back at the retro stuff, like specifically the Nintendo NES and SNES. Cardboard construction, I think it gives that more of a playful vibe to it. It looks a lot more playful, it looks more kid-friendly, and this is what they're marketing towards to kids. It's not aimed for adults, so I don't get why people are getting mad over this, specifically the older crowd, the older Nintendo crowd. It's not for you, it's not meant for you, it's definitely aimed at kids, but that don't mean you don't have to not like it. You can like it. It's okay. Cardboard, yay or nay? Final thoughts on that. If it's really, really thick and like heavy cardboard, I think it'll be okay. But then again, cardboard will break. It's paper-ish. It's kind of like paper. It's gonna tear up. And that brings me to the next topic: that replacements for these Labo variety kits, these Labo robot kits. Now, replacements like, oh, do you mean you want to replace the whole variety kit itself, or do you want to replace the whole robot kit? No, I don't. I don't want to do that. What I'm talking about is, let's say little Timmy breaks his fishing rod, his Labo Creation fishing rod, or his Labo Creation piano piece, okay? So the piano piece is like, oh, okay, well, he squished it and we can't tape it back together. It's a lost cause. Basically, he either completely destroyed it by sitting on it, or he poured water on it because he was being a kid. So now the parents have to buy another variety kit or another robot kit just to replace that part. Does that seem fair to you from a business standpoint to the consumer? No, it doesn't, because then the parents are going to be shelling out like another $80, $60, depending on what kit they get, just to get one piece back. I don't seem good. I hope Nintendo does sell these creations by themselves, like they sell the fishing rod by itself, the piano kit by itself. Stuff like that, you know, like in single packets. I think it'd be a lot more economical for the consumer, and they can sell the software separately. It'll be a lot more cheaper for the consumer if they're looking to replace something that they broke or their children broke. It'd be cheaper, more cost efficient, and I hope they're thinking about this because they should have been doing this with the Wii U gamepad also. You couldn't get any Wii U replacement gamepads. You had to either send it back to Nintendo or go buy one online. That hurt the Wii U because the availability of controllers, aka the Wii U gamepad itself, was scarce. You couldn't buy any. You had to send it back, or you had to go buy one off eBay. Hopefully they make their little creations more available to the public by, you know, bringing out the kits individually, the creations individually. I think that'd be a great move on their part. Who knows? Maybe they already announced it I don't know about. Maybe I got to do more research. Who knows? But hopefully they do have the individual kits for us to buy to replace stuff that kids might break, or we might just break by being clumsy. You know, it's okay. People are clumsy sometimes. Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Another thing we want to talk about here today is why Nintendo is necessarily doing Labo. They don't need it right now, right? The Switch is doing amazing. It prints money, basically. The 3DS is still going strong. It just had its strongest month, I believe, or year. I think there was an article on that the 3DS is still going pretty damn strong. Why Labo? Why do we need the Labo? It don't make no sense. Well, you know, this is going to be like a Nintendo's, you know, side hustle, basically. Like the Amiibo and the Wii Fit, those were side things that weren't necessarily meant to be the main attraction of the console, but they still sell considerably well amount of Amiibo, and the Wii Fit was a financial success from what I believe, and it sold pretty well too with the fitness yoga crowd, right? This can be their next Amiibo type-ish line, and I see this can bring in more stuff, more money than the Amiibo line potentially, because this is aiming at a broader audience too, you know. The whole making creations and stuff, experimenting with your imagination. And the Amiibo is just, you know, like a little figurine that has some NFC compatibility with video games. So definitely definitely the Labo kits seem to have more of a wider variety of appeal to the masses. Nintendo, here's what you have to remember. Nintendo's a gaming company. They don't have any other sector under their belt. Microsoft and Sony are not solely gaming companies. Please remember that. Sony has they're a huge electronics giant, although they're not as big as they used to be, but they're coming back up. They were near bankruptcy, if you didn't know, but they're coming back up from that. Actually, I just bought a Sony stereo a couple ago, so there you go. Sony's in the music business. They have their movie studios. They have a lot of other stuff. Microsoft, it's Microsoft. They made Windows. It's a big company. They don't need to be necessarily successful in the video game industry to make a profit. They already make a profit on Windows PCs and all that stuff, their software, all that software they made, Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, all that type of stuff, you know. Bill Gates got it down. Bill Gates is the man. So Sony and Microsoft have things to fall back on. They don't have to worry about being a failure with their video game consoles. Nintendo, on the other hand, is just primarily a video game console company. Now, I kind of see why. If you guys remember, Satoru Iwata, may he rest in peace, great guy, great CEO, I guess. He was talking about a new Vitality Health sensor for the Nintendo Wii U, I believe, or just a new Nintendo product. The Vitality Health sensors definitely was going more into the healthcare business side of the Nintendo lineup. Now, it didn't make any sense from our perspective why Nintendo wants to do this. It still don't make sense to me. Nintendo really, I don't understand why they would want to get into the healthcare market. It doesn't make any sense. Would I think they would do good? Well, you know, if I want to be very cynical about it, some of the older generation of Nintendo, the elderly Nintendo fans, I think if they see a Nintendo branded, you know, X Vitality sensor, they're probably going to buy it just because of the mushy feelings they have for it. That's just my very cruel outlook on that. But yeah, so Nintendo, it's not the first time they're trying to branch out to other things to get more revenue from the Vitality sensor. It didn't come out though. It was scrapped from what I can tell ever since the new boss came in. I think his name's Kishima, I think. I'm not sure. I think the new boss scrapped it. Who knows? Maybe we'll see that coming in the future as a new medical device, a full-fledged medical device. But yeah, the vitality sensor was them trying to get into another area that they wanted to, you know, cash in on. So the Amiibo and the Wii Fit and the Labo is kind of, you know, bringing in Nintendo revenue that they need, you know. The Labo is going to bring a lot of money in, from what I can tell. If you guys remember our good old friend Michael Pachter, or Patcher, whatever way you want to announce his name or pronounce it, doesn't really matter, does it? Michael Pachter, he's kind of the evil amongst the Nintendo community, right? You don't know who Michael Pachter is. He's an analyst, which doesn't really like Nintendo. He really hammered them hard with the Wii U. And, well, yeah, he was kind of right on that, though. The Wii U was kind of a failure. He said a couple of years ago that Nintendo could make cardboard and put their name on it, and people would buy it in masses. Well, look what's happened now. Nintendo has put their name on cardboard, and now people are hyped up for it, and they want to go buy it in masses. Pachter, my boy, you may have a point. You may have a point. But yeah, Labo, Nintendo side hustle, bringing in more money. Nothing wrong with that. Plus, Nintendo needs all the money they can get. So to summarize the whole thing, we talked about the Labo being a side hustle for Nintendo. We talked about how much it would cost to replace a single creation that you can make, the cardboard creation, the Joy creation, I think they're called. We also talked about how the software doesn't seem to be worth necessarily $60. That's just my opinion. I think it's like a 1-2 switch debacle. It's more of a glorified tech demo. Don't think it's worth $60, maybe 40. We also talked about the cardboard construction, how we should have made it a little bit more stronger, maybe fused it with a plastic to reinforce it. We also talked about that, and then we got into the whole eco-friendly debate. And to bring it up all together, I'm going to talk about the possibility of cheaper Labo kits. Yeah, you heard it here first, guys. Labo kits. Now, we all know originally right now, Nintendo is the only people allowed right now. I don't know if they have like a patent or like a copyright on the whole Labo thing to make these creation kits. We could be seeing third parties getting into this whole creation kit craze if it does really well, which I do believe it will be. I think Labo will be selling well. Regardless of all the negatives I pointed out and my concerns, I think it's going to be a smash success for Nintendo. We could see third parties making cheaper Labo kits, like, let's say, Nintendo's robot kit. There could be a competitor robot kit from Nyko or some other company. You know, I don't know who the hell would get into this. But the competitor kit could be substantially cheaper, like, I don't know, maybe not $80. Let's take the robot kit, okay? The robot kit's $80. The competitor's robot kit could be priced at around $50, $49.99. Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of a lot of money for cardboard, essentially, but it's a hell of a lot cheaper than the $80 robot kit. And it goes with the same thing that's always been around in gaming. Third-party controllers and third-party products have always undercutted the mainstay first-party products. They're cheaper, but quality usually suffers, and that's why they're a little cheaper. But we could be seeing third-party kits on their way if there is no legal issue there, which there probably will be, knowing Nintendo. So they're probably gonna have a monopoly on this whole cardboard thing. But we could also go to the open source route where people could be making open source cardboard kits, and you can just download the specs offline and print them out, you know, but not sure you can print out cardboard yet. So that might be a problem. Or people will print out schematics on how to make certain Nintendo Labo products. So that way you don't have to go pay the $80 for the whole kit. I think there's gonna be a little like a cult following for the Labo thing. Just making kits more readily available, people sharing kits online, plans online via Google Drive or the forums and stuff like that, in order to make kits replaceable or in order to make temporary kits. Anyways, everybody, that's all we have on today for the Nintendo Labo. I do think it's going to be a success. Very interested to see how well it's going to sell. And I'm more interested to see on the whole replacement side of things, like I brought up earlier. How are they going to replace these little creation kits, these little creations themselves, like the piano or the fishing rod? Individual creations must be sold. I don't think this is a suggestion. I think this is a demand from the consumer. They must be sold individually as well in order to get replacements. Or Nintendo, you should be taking orders for replacements. That would be good too. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you disagree with any of the points in today's video, I'd like to hear why. Put them in the comment section down below. We can talk about Labo, get into a little fight here and there, have some fun, eat some pizza. If you do agree with me, then okay, good for you. If you like the video, don't forget to like. If you want to subscribe for more content like this, then go ahead. It helps out the channel because the road to 1K is not an easy road. I'll I'll tell you that much. I'll be leaving my other video suggestion on the end card so you can see what I was talking about with the whole 1-2 switch thing. I'll leave that in there right there. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys later.